Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by SMUD.
And we're coming to you with Week 9 football action, meaning Week 10 is the end of the regular season for the Sac Joaquin section. Then we got the playoffs for high school football. We're going to touch on football, other sports, but big on football with highlights, insight, and all kinds of fun and flavor. Stick around.
Welcome back for another edition of MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by SMUD. I'm Mike Finnerty, joined as always by Joe Davidson of Sacramento Bee. And Joe, we are wrapping up Week 9. We got Week 10 ahead, a fun time in high school football, and some big games going on.
Oh, a lot of stuff going on. We're going to decide league champions here in the next couple of weeks in Week 9, Week 10, and then it's a Sac Joaquin section sprint to the championships, 4 weeks for section play, and then it's 1 week for Northern California championships. And then the final grand finale week at Sacramento State for the upper divisions for CIF State Bowl Championships. It's 16 weeks. Is it too long? Not for the guys chasing championships. So we're going to break it down the best we can. You bounced around. You had small schools, large schools, city schools, here, there, and everywhere. It's good football in this region.
Yeah, it is fun. Football, we got volleyball, Oak Ridge taking on Rockland, a big-time showdown, Masters Girls Golf Championships. But Joe, later in the show, we are going to talk about the Oak Ridge Folsom matchup and our thoughts on those teams and what lies ahead for them. But we're going to start off with football. Plenty of highlights, and let's get right to it. We lead off our highlights with a big matchup in the Sierra Foothill League. It's the number 1 Folsom Bulldogs up the hill in El Dorado Hills to take on the number 3 Oak Ridge Trojans. Both teams undefeated in league play. Winner takes the league title. With Folsom up 14-13 at the half, we're going to pick it up early in the third when Folsom quarterback Jake Jeffrey decides to keep it himself, finds room to run, and he is gone. That's a touchdown for the Bulldogs to extend their lead to 21-13. Later in the third, more Folsom and more Jeffrey, finding a hole up the middle, and he is off to the races. 36 yards for another touchdown as Folsom begins to pull away up 28-13. Early fourth quarter now, Jeffrey goes screen left to Eric Davis, and Davis takes it down the sidelines. Folsom continues its second half domination, upping the lead to 35-13. Oak Ridge finally scored in the second half with this Ian Book to Kevin Cass's touchdown. The Trojans would add the 2-point conversion to cut the lead to 35-21 with 6:43 to go, but too much Folsom. The defense came up big in the second half as the Bulldogs prevailed by 14, improved to 9-0 on the season, still unbeaten in the regular season since 2011, and clinch yet another league title.
We knew, when you're trying to win championships, you get the ball to your best player, and Jake Jeffrey is a man-child. I love the way that guy runs, and he took the game over in the second half.
Oak Ridge, great team always. Really a relief off our shoulders knowing that we locked up the championship. Still got a great team in Wood Creek next week. Got to go out there and execute and take home that number 1 seed in the playoffs.
We worked since January. We had a 2-week break from last season and worked really hard all off season and prepared for this and trying to live up to the expectation that we have for us.
Next up is another showdown for a league title, this in the Metro League, where the number 11 Sacramento Dragons were taking on the number 10 Burbank Titans, this from Sac High, where the Dragons were looking for their first league title in 15 years. Sacramento got out to a great start on the opening kickoff when Destin Garrett went left, and that was a spot to run. He's going to take it down the sidelines for the first play of the game, setting the tone for what would be a long afternoon for the visiting Titans. 7-0 Dragons. Now it's Burbank's turn. First possession when Burbank goes to the air, but there to pick it off is Arthur Harris, and he's going to take it to the Sac High 33, and the Dragons are all fired up. The pick would eventually lead to this Caden Vogus to Elijah Trosker 30-yard touchdown strike. Great throw by Vogus, and the Dragons now lead 14-0. Sac High defense came up big one time after another. This one by Trezell White. It's a fumble. He recovers it, and he's going to take it to the Burbank 25. Dragons in business. Now, moments later, Vogus, he's going to capitalize going down the middle to Devon Owens. 31 yards for the score. The extra point is no good. Sacramento rolling right along, up 20-0, still in the first. All right, to the second quarter now. Much of the same, complete domination by Sac High. This touchdown by Tariq Hollinsworth makes it 26-0, and then just before the half, Dragons go back to Hollinsworth again. He goes around the right side, and after the 2-point conversion on this pass play, Sacramento would lead 34-0 at the break and would eventually cruise to a 56-20 win. Dragons capture the league title, their third overall since 1972, and they'll wrap up regular season play this week against McClatchy. We've got some Capital Athletic League action, a rare Thursday night showdown where the 2-1 El Camino Eagles played host to the 3-0 Vista Del Lago Eagles. A win for Vista Del Lago, and they would play Christian Brothers this week for the league title. Well, this game would be all Vista Del Lago, and it started early. Ryan McCargo to Brendan Hall from 11 yards out puts Vista on top at 7-0. That score would hold until the second when McCargo goes screen right to Blake Martin, and Martin is going to do the rest himself as he finds the end zone to make it 13-0 with 6:42 left in the half. Now, with just over a minute left until the break, this time Vista goes to the ground on this Colby Carrera run up the middle to make it 19-0. They would add the 2-point conversion with this nice pass play, and it's now 21-0, and that would be the score at intermission. Vista Del Lago would control the second half as well, outscoring El Camino 20-13, and they would take this game by a final of 41-13, improving to 4-0 in league play, and they'll now take on Christian Brothers this Friday for that Capital Athletic League championship. We've got some small school gridiron highlights coming from the Sierra Delta League, where the first place Bradshaw Christian Pride of Elk Grove were on the road to take on the Highland Scots. Scots came in just a game back at first, but it would not be their night. With the Pride already up 14-0 in the first, they look to add the lead with the ground game, and watch this run by Brighton Wheatley, plowing his way up the middle, breaking tackles at midfield, and that would lead to Wheatley finding some room down the right side, and he's going to take it in for the score, extending the BC lead to 21-0 with just over a minute left to go in the opening period. Highlands finally got on the board early in the second when Isaiah Tennett, he's going to find his man there in the end zone. Touchdown Titans, but the missed extra point would make it a 21-6 game. Bradshaw Christian tacked on 2 more first half touchdowns. The short pass here, he's going to score, and that's going to make it 28-6 Pride. And then later it's Wheatley up the middle, and it is now 35-6 Bradshaw Christian. The Pride have no problem with the Scots, beating them 49-28. Bradshaw Christian improves to 7-2 on the season and looking playoff ready.
All right, Mike, good stuff. Kudos to you. You're always going to games. You know, sometimes they're ranked teams, sometimes they're small schools, medium schools, large schools. Football's football. And if there are playoff implications, they're of note. Bradshaw Christian, Highlands, those are 2 teams expecting to win section championships as well. They're both 2 of the smaller regions there. Isaiah Tennett is a terrific quarterback, could do a lot of things. Bradshaw Christian and the Pride, great mascot. El Camino, Vista Del Lago, those are teams expecting to do damage in the playoffs as well. Intercom
yep.
is loaded, fast, physical. You're certainly entertained every time you see the Intercom Tigers looking to be 10-0 again, looking for its first Sac Joaquin section championship under guru coach Terry Stark. Wow, some good stuff out there. And then, of course, at Oak Park on Saturday, Metro League Championship, Burbank, Sacramento, those schools need each other. The Metro League's not that strong, so they need each other for competition. Both of those teams are expecting to do more damage in the Sac Joaquin section playoffs in different divisions.
All right, Joe, when we come back from the break, we have girls golf. It's the Masters Championships out in Stockton, and we have a huge matchup in the Sierra Foothill League with girls volleyball.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. We are Max Preps Sacramento, powered by our good friends from SMUD. A lot of football in the last segment, a lot of football coming up, including a college football player in the Pac-12 with Sacramento ties, and this guy could be NFL bound in a couple of years. He's that good. But there's other sports brewing right now, some championship flavors right now. Share.
Well, we're going to start off with volleyball, arguably the top 2 teams in the region. Oak Ridge going up against Rockland. Oak Ridge got them the first time. We'll see how it goes the second time. Volleyball now, and the top 2 teams in the area squared off for the Sierra Foothill League title. The 27-2 Oak Ridge Trojans in Rockland to take on the 27-6 Thunder. Oak Ridge got the 3-0 sweep last time, so how would this one go? Well, the opening set, Oak Ridge had the early 5-0 lead thanks to this ace by Jenna Miller, but Rockland would rally back to grab the lead at 9-8 with Maddie Haynes doing work here, and then Rockland would hold on and take it here in the second set 25-16 thanks to this Abby Margima blast. From there, both teams traded set victories. Oak Ridge took the second set 25-13. Rockland prevailed in the third set 25-23. The Trojans would even the match with a fourth-set victory 25-15 before taking the final set in a close one 17-15. Oak Ridge takes the SFL championship, followed that a few days later with a Super 8 tournament championship, and will now wrap up the regular season this week.
Great stuff there, Mike. The Sierra Foothill League has crowned some big-time champions over the years. We know Granite Bay was a wire-to-wire #1 team, unbeaten, I think 40-0 a couple years ago, CIF State Division I champions. We'll see how Oak Ridge and Rockland do. We'll not see each other in the Sac Joaquin section playoffs, Oak Ridge Division I, Rockland Division II, but the volleyball around here never ceases to amaze us. A lot of these players go on to 4-year programs and dominate.
Well, yeah, they do. You know, I weeks back I had a chance to talk with Rockland head coach Dave Muscarella. He was impressed with Oak Ridge. They have their new head coach this year, Patrick Sanders, who comes from Vista Del Lago. He's won a championship before, so I expect those teams to be there really on the final day of the volleyball championships. All right, Joe, we're gonna get out to some girls golf now. The Masters Championships in Stockton. Always fun to get out there and see the slew of talent, and we saw a lot more of that again. We take you out to the reserve at Spanos Park in Stockton, where the Sac Joaquin section held its annual Masters Golf Championships, and what a day it was for the Granite Bay Grizzlies. After finishing in fourth place with a score of 444 last year, this year the Grizzlies battled through the weather conditions and shot a 406 to take first place and earn a berth in the next week's NorCal Finals in Salinas. Finishing in second was defending Masters champion, the Oak Ridge Trojans, 16 shots back of Granite Bay with a 422. Taking third place and securing the final NorCal spot was the Rockland Thunder with a 450. We caught up with the victorious Grizzlies after securing their first ever Masters championship.
We've never made it past, since my freshman year, we've never made it past Masters, and this is our first time, so I'm really excited.
We play in the rain sometimes, and we know that we can perform well, so that's what we did.
Obviously, us playing good today is giving us a lot of confidence for next week, so we're still going to try to play as good as we can and hopefully make it to states.
For the individual competition, it was Brooke Riley of East Union carding the day's lowest score with a 71 to give Riley back-to-back titles, but this time she wouldn't have to share the title. Last year, Riley shot a 70, finishing a three-way tie for first.
When it's pouring like this, it's mentally can be very tough, so I'll take a 71, even though it could have been around a 67 with missing short putts. But taking that positive into NorCal's next week will be a great thing.
Others who qualified for next week's NorCal Finals also include Bea Cruz of Christian Brothers, who shot a 73, Natalie Pietromonaco of Placer, who had a 70, and also shooting a 70 was Madeline Zanino of Lincoln of Stockton.
All right, Mike, good stuff there. Golf is big around here as
Yes.
well, and beautiful weather. Fun event last week in Lodi at the home of the Sac Joaquin section office, where the building was formerly named after Pete Sacco, the longtime section commissioner. He's now retired, enjoying the golfing life. He's traveling in the world with his wife, Barbara. Mike Garrison has taken over as section commissioner, doing a great job. But this was a neat honor for Pete Sacco because he was a champion for all sports: golf, volleyball, small schools, large schools, football. He really helped champion the whole idea of a CIF state championship bowl format and NorCal regional and championships for all levels, and he was big on sportsmanship, big on fairness, realignment. Not an easy job being the section commissioner. He was excellent, and the section's got another really good one in Mike Garrison, but kudos to Pete Sacco. He's one of the great people that we've met in this business over the years, and his wife Barb said, he loves this. He loves to have a building named after him. His pride is there, the ego's there, and you know what? We salute you, Pete Sacco. A job well done. Enjoy retirement.
I got a question for you. You've known Pete many, many years. What would you say, if you could pick one thing, would be his lasting legacy?
I just think his emphasis on recognizing all school levels, small schools, large schools, they all matter in a championship realm. And schools like Valley Christian Academy, small enrollment up in Roseville, and Coach Brad Gunter Jr. said, we love Pete Sacco because he recognizes that we're a small school, but we have big championship hopes as well. And he was big on sportsmanship. Don't sully our championship events at Arco Arena or sleep train with basketball with boorish behavior. We'll run you out of here.
Yeah.
And people listen. They responded. He's frightening.
He's a big man.
He comes charging at you. Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah, he's a big man.
But no, a lot of terrific results.
Yes.
Excellent section commissioner, and he's earned the building named after him. I asked him, did they spell it right? Did they have too many C's in there? But no, he's you do good work like that, and you get a building named after you.
Yeah, he well deserved, and congratulations to Pete. And we know he likes the Giants, by the way. He's a big San Francisco Giants fan. All right, when we come back from the break, we've got plenty more. We have our Placer Title Company insiders, and in that spot, we talk about a Pac-12 football player with some local ties who's raising some eyebrows around the country. And then later on the show, we'll preview some football games coming up this Friday.
Thinking about whether a solar power system is a good fit for your home or not?
Here, try this instead.
SMUD can help. If you've got questions, SMUD's got answers. Check with SMUD before signing a contract. Visit smud.org/solaranswers.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. We are MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by our good friends from SMUD. All over football, a little bit of volleyball, some golf. The championship season is here. We got more football coming up in a couple of segments, so stick around there with some insight and some good video. But it's fun and fast and furious right now.
It is. Well, speaking of fun, fast and furious, when we
our eating habits.
Yeah, our eating habits. We like to get out every now and then to Makuni Sushi, and it's now time for our Makuni trivia question, Joe. And I know you got a good one. It's football related. Hit me with the question.
USC football, 1972, had perhaps its greatest team, which is saying something because the Trojans have had some mighty men over the years. There was a consensus All-American defensive back from Sacramento High School on that team. He played in the NFL. Of whom are we speaking of?
Well, I don't know the answer, and I like that. I don't know the answer, but even if I did, it would have to wait until the final segment coming up. That's an interesting one. So sit on that, think about it, and we'll give you the answer in our next segment. A good one, by the way. Were you covering high school sports in 72?
I was a 10-year. No, I was.
Okay.
I was barely even born.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Let's get to our Placer Title Company insiders. No cheating. You got to memorize this stuff. Placer Title Company insiders. Placer Title Company, your title and escrow company in Northern California since the 1970s. All right, Joe, let's get right to it. We've got some football, some baseball, and a teachable moment. We're going to talk about all three of those right now.
Big on sportsmanship on that teachable moment.
We always like that. Let's start off with football, though. USC's Cameron Smith, the true freshman linebacker out of Granite Bay High School. Everyone knows this by now. 3 interceptions against Utah. He's a monster. We saw him his sophomore year when he was a monster. He's playing well.
He is, and he looks the part. He looks like he could be a bouncer somewhere. He's 6'2", 6'3", 245 pounds of downhill rumble, and got a hold of his high school coach, Ernie Cooper, and I asked Cooper, I said, what was he like in the weight room? And he said this guy was an animal in the weight room, and there was a scene where he was doing a power squat, and everybody surrounded him, and he goes, Ernie Cooper was saying the bar's bending, there's spotters on the side, and there's spotters in the back, and everybody's hooting and hollering, and he just was an animal. And so he would parlay that into the football field. He took it personal. It was important to him. He graduated early to get a head start at USC. It's paying off. And this guy may be an NFL guy. Yes, he's only a freshman now, but sometimes you could see a guy this young and say, pretty impressive. Great instincts, great hands, very fast, very physical, and got a heck of a beard, too. So he could grow a full beard in about 2 days.
Yes, he could. Speaking of, in Cameron, with the 3 interceptions last week, 3 in one game, surprising at that level. But he was a pick machine in high school, so it's a timing thing for him. He does it very well.
He would work with a jug gun in practice where they'd feed a football in there, and he was working on it, and it paid off. So this guy works hard at his craft. No one wants to be ribbed by the older teammates. So kudos to Cameron Smith. We have not seen the end of this guy. This guy is going to be a big-time player here for this program, and USC needed some good breath and some good life with that big win over Utah after some dark days with the Steve Sarkisian coaching fallout.
He's definitely a winner. All right, Joe, let's move over to baseball. We're going to take out the Sheldon. Matt Manning. You think Matt Manning, you hear Matt Manning's name, many just think of basketball. His brother Ryan was a star. He's a terrific star for the Huskies and their basketball team, but he is really a star pitcher.
He's an exceptional athlete. 6'4", 6'5". maybe the best player for the Sheldon basketball team. That's a Sac Joaquin section powerhouse in Sacramento. He's fundamentally sound. He does a chest pass. He could shoot. He could run. His real gift might be how he could throw a fastball at 95 miles an hour. And he was in what's called the Perfect Games World Series, and he was the MVP pitcher. And 14 strikeouts in 7 innings, hit 95 miles an hour a few times. Wow, this kid's pretty impressive. He's given a verbal commitment to Loyola Marymount. He might get drafted.
Yeah.
If he could throw like that. So he's a 4.0 student, unsung, quiet guy, but he can dominate with a basketball and especially with a baseball.
His dad, Rich Manning, a former Syracuse basketball star, NBA player, he's got to be awfully proud of his two boys.
He is, and Rich Manning, 6'10", 6'11", was the California High School Player of the Year for smaller division center high school in north part of Sacramento. He goes, man, my kids are way better than I ever was.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap this segment up with a teachable moment, Joe. You had a chance to see Franklin and Jesuit about a week or so back, and you were caught off guard by some good show of sportsmanship that took
Great
place.
show of sportsmanship, and we like to highlight that here because we'll certainly touch on the bad sportsmanship, and we see that sometimes, but Jesuit and Franklin played in a football game, Delta League game, and Jacob Lopez of Franklin High School in Elk Grove went down with a broken leg. It was a terrible Grizzly injury, and Jesuit players looked away in horror. It was that bad. And after the game, Jesuit wins in the last minute with a Calvin Brownholtz touchdown bomb. And Brownholtz and the Jesuit team invited Franklin over to take a team prayer together. They're united as one, and they wished Jacob Lopez, the injured quarterback, well. And I thought that was really strong, really powerful, and they get it. They understand. And Calvin Brownholtz, the Jesuit quarterback, said, it's really just a game. I mean, we want to beat each other, but it's just a game. And the coaches on both sides said it was great. And Mike Johnson, the longtime Franklin coach, said this was very impressive. And everybody feels bad for this quarterback who went down, not as opponents, but just as compassionate teenagers. It's a big teachable moment, and kudos to both schools, and I thought that was excellent. Good to see.
Yeah, those are good to see. Well, congratulations to both those teams, and well done, Jesuit. All right, Joe, one more segment to go. When we come back, we're going to preview some football games for this Friday.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Thinking about whether a solar power system is a good fit for your home or not?
Here, try this instead.
SMUD can help. If you've got questions, SMUD's got answers. Check with SMUD before signing a contract. Visit smud.org/solaranswers.
And we're back for the final segment of a terrific show. We bring you the very best of high school sports.
Do you expect anything less?
I do not. As we bring you I expect you not to interrupt me, though.
Oh, I'm going to do it more now. I like that.
As we bring you the very best of high school sports in Northern California, we are Max Preps, sponsored by our good friends from SMUD. And next time you interrupt me, I'm out that door. And so, no, we have a good time because I think high school sports is about having a good time. It's involvement. It's a great way to connect the communities. We love it. It's good stuff. And Week 10 for Sacramento area high school football is here this weekend. We got some championships to talk about. Let's talk about two of them in the Capital Athletic League, a team you just saw, Vista Del Lago, taking on Christian Brothers of Sacramento. Championships still matter.
Yeah, they do. These have been two teams that have been good over the last few years, both hungry for a league title. We'll start with Vista Del Lago. They're a balanced team, lots of talent there. They've been near the top. No more Matt Jimison. We're not talking about him anymore. I expect them to make this a game. They'll run the ball. Very balanced team.
Very balanced team, well coached, can throw the ball as well. You saw that last week.
Yep.
And Christian Brothers has Braden Bork. He's a unsung senior quarterback, 6'3", 185 pounds. He's done very well. He was our Sacramento Bee Prep of the Week last week, as voted by fans. So he's got a lot of fans out there.
He should.
He loves the pressure of being the quarterback. And Jamari Jackson, we saw him in the Holy Bowl. This kid is a jet. He could peel off an 80-yard touchdown run. He could catch the ball, play on special teams. Should be a terrific game. All right, this is a good one. In Green Haven, in Sacramento, the Burbank Titans taking on the Kennedy Cougars. Kennedy off to an 8-1 start, best start since 1991. We'll see what happens. Matt Costa's done a terrific job. This is a program that was down and out, but is a sleeping giant. He's got numbers up. He's got confidence up. The other loss for Kennedy was 42-0 to Sac High. So when you play big, you got to play big. You got to match that effort. And Burbank, fast, dynamic, athletic. They call them the bank, and the bank ready to cash in here.
Burbank, better team, tougher schedule, more experience by every measure. They should beat Kennedy. Kennedy playing well. They have a good record, but it's a team on the rise. You fully expect Burbank to win, but you just never count anyone out in high school sports.
And Burbank has the triple option with running backs right and left, and quarterback could run and all kinds of speed in the backfield. And if you can't deal with that, good luck. And Burbank looking to do some big damage in the Sac Joaquin section playoffs as well.
Hey, and by the way, we didn't preview any Sierra Foothill League games or Delta League games. We did it.
It's allowed.
It's allowed. All right, Joe. Fun show once again. Covered it all. We had some tennis or golf. We had volleyball, loads of football previews. We got to everything. And again, Week 10 is coming up. Catch Joe Davidson on sacb.com daily, all the time. I think you even work throughout the morning. Early morning,
noon, and night, man.
Yes, you do.
We go full bore because it warrants the good coverage.
You bet. All right, folks, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.